From the moment he first slipped on the scarlet tunic of the Irish Guards and rode onto Horse Guards parade in his 20s, it was clear Prince William would never be content to act as a mere custodian of inherited custom. He respects ceremony, loves it, even, but only when ritual serves a purpose beyond pageantry. Now, as whispers grow louder that the Prince of Wales is already drafting the blueprint for his eventual reign, palace insiders say the outline taking shape on William's desk is nothing less than the quiet re-engineering of the modern British crown. And at the very center of that design lies an unexpected decision: handing the ancient, glittering portfolio of royal horse racing to his cousin Zara Tindall, while William himself pivots towards mental health advocacy, digital transparency, and leading Britain's environmental charge on the world stage. To grasp why that single delegation matters, one must understand the symbolic heft racing carries inside Windsor walls. The late Queen spent dawn after dawn at Sandringham's royal stud inspecting foals, her brooch glinting in the mist. She deciphered pedigrees with the focus of a geneticist, and rang her racing manager the instant a 2-year-old so much as twitched in its stall. Racing wasn't her hobby. It was her respite, her chessboard, her sovereign's escape valve. Charles inherited the program, and, with Camilla, has dutifully maintained it. But those closest to William say that although he admires thoroughbreds, and can identify a Derby contender as quickly as any Westminster bookmaker, his heart does not sing for bloodlines, and betting slips the way it does for cause-driven work that improves lives in measurable, data-backed ways. That realization has crystallized during the past decade of royal service. William has spent late nights in Belfast suicide prevention call centers. He has sat in Kenyan mangrove nurseries tracking carbon credits. He has hosted hackers at Kensington Palace to build mental health apps destined for schoolchildren. Every hour steered away to select silks, or study broodmare fertility charts, aides confide, felt like oxygen siphoned from projects that keep him awake with urgency. So in private conversations, first with the king, then with the royal household's chief private secretary, William floated a proposal. The racing brief should pass to the single family member who lives and breathes equestrian sport every day of her life, the one woman on the Windsor tree whose youthful dreams were never of tiaras but of rosettes and jumping logs at full gallop. Enter Zara Phillips, now Mrs. Tindall, Olympian, eventing world champion, friend of trainers and ground staff, a woman who can tell at 20 yards whether a warmblood's near 4 is fractionally off. If William's plan moves forward unchanged, and sources say only the king's final nod remains, Zara would assume an official stewardship first forged when Henry VIII imported bloodstock from Naples. She would, in effect, become the Crown's racing director. That means fronting Ascot's trophy presentations, receiving breeding yard briefs, and acting as royal patron for dozens of equine charities that rely on Windsor imprimatur to raise millions each year. Her task would be to guard tradition, while injecting 21st century relevance by championing jockey mental health, equine welfare science, and greener stud farm practices. She would also, crucially, digitalize the royal stables outreach, live streaming foalings, posting microdocumentaries about farriers, hosting Q&As with young riders from marginalized communities. The aim is to haul a venerable sport, often pigeonholed as elitist, into a space where it inspires rather than intimidates. Relocating the racing crown frees William to concentrate his attention, and the monarchy's public spending capital, on 3 pillars he believes will define Britain's soft power for the next half-century. First, the mental health revolution he and Catherine ignited through Heads Together will expand into a permanent royal commission, blending neuroscience grants, workplace protocols, and AI-powered triage for children in crisis. Second, his Earthshot Prize will morph into an on-the-ground implementation fund, sending engineers and urban planners across the Commonwealth to install green tech proven by prize winners. Third, he will create the Sovereign's Digital Forum, an online hub where tens of thousands can pose civic questions, track royal grant disbursements, and access open data dashboards on palatial energy usage, transparency unheard of a generation ago. If people can watch our carbon meter tick down in real time, William reportedly told aides, they might trust that we aren't just preaching climate virtue from ivory towers. Such sweeping ambitions cannot succeed in a vacuum. Hence his broader strategy of building a leaner, younger, working royal core. At its nucleus, William and Catherine, Princess Anne until she chooses to retire, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh taking on state banquet diplomacy, Peter Phillips running logistics, Mike Tindall spearheading youth sport and veterans rehabilitation, Beatrice and Eugenie rotating through innovation and disability patronages. It is not palace bean counters, but William himself who argues that smaller headcounts demand smarter distribution, with each relative assigned a domain-aligning passion to national need. The gamble is that authenticity will rekindle public fascination more effectively than sheer volume of ribbon cuttings. Critics grumble that transferring a portfolio, as visible as racing, diminishes the heir's aura. Yet supporters counter that the monarchy's survival hinges on matching messenger to message. They point to the Queen's unwavering enthusiasm for racing as proof that authenticity cannot be faked. Better, they say, for William to champion climate science and Catherine to advance early years neurodevelopment while Zara, an Olympic silver medalist, wears the racing silks with genuine fire. And as for pageantry, William will still appear in top hat at Ascot's opening day. He will still bow his head when the national anthem crescendos down the straight. He simply won't be the one advising on stallion matings behind the scenes. Signals of transition are already visible. At this summer's Royal Ascot, William's carriage circle was conducted with impeccable courtesy yet minimal personal flourish. He left the in-ring glad-handing largely to Zara, who joked with jockeys and posed for selfies with stable lads. A fortnight later, when William donned bearskin for trooping the colour, courtiers noted how seamlessly he alternated between ceremonial gravitas and affectionate fatherhood, smiling up at Louis on the balcony, fingers still gloved in grenadier red. The message was subtle but unmistakable: tradition, yes, but let it breathe. Implementation, of course, will be messy. Racing sponsors entrenched for decades may resist a new royal face. Some will attempt to court Zara with offers that risk commercializing what was once pure patronage. William's digital transparency drive could expose uncomfortable palace utility bills. And any misstep by Beatrice or Eugenie will be magnified in a media ecosystem William knows can turn a sneeze in Suffolk into a scandal in Sydney, as he once quipped. But courtiers say the heir takes solace from a phrase his grandmother repeated during constitutional crises: steady the helm and sail on. Evolution, guided firmly, can weather gusts of backlash. Perhaps the greatest unknown is public appetite. Will Britain cheer a monarchy that feels more like a start-up incubator than a pageant troupe? Will Commonwealth cities prefer Zoom dialogues with William's digital forum to the magic of a royal tour? No poll can predict intangible emotion. Yet early indicators hint at approval. After Zara's unscheduled chat with punters outside Sandown Park last month, no red carpet, just riding boots and muddy laughs, social media sentiment scored 90+% positive. And YouGov's June survey showed support for William's environmental work up 11 points year-on-year, among 24 to 34s. For now, the plan remains locked in the leather folios of Kensington Palace, annotated in William's brisk fountain pen. The king, mindful of precedent, will sanction each shift at his own tempo. But those who have sat across from the prince these past months describe a man unburdened by grandeur, energized by purpose, and quietly certain that the crown's relevance in the 2030s will depend not on how brightly it gleams under Ascot sunshine, but on how convincingly it demonstrates compassion, innovation, and authenticity to an ever-questioning public. And so, as the parade of sovereign horses thunders down the track of time, it may soon be Zara Tindall who lifts the winner's cup on behalf of the monarch, while William stands a step behind, applauding, already turning his mind to the next Earthshot field trial, or the latest app delivering crisis text counseling to a struggling teenager. If the plan succeeds, tradition will not be lost. It will simply find a new jockey, one whose heartbeat quickens at the same pace as the horses she has loved since childhood, while the heir drives the monarchy into realms his grandmother never dreamed. Digital, sustainable, and as transparent as the visor of a racing helmet lifted to salute a cheering crowd. Whether you greet that vision with excitement or skepticism, one truth is hard to deny: the Windsors are bracing, once again, for evolution. And this time, the starting bell may sound sooner than any of us expect.